If election no longer need real-time result upload, then tell me, who exactly are we voting for in 2027? Because what the Senate just did quietly may decide your next president before you even leave the polling unit. Today in this video, I will talk about what the Senate removed, why Nigerians are angry, and why this one clause can decide whether your vote counts or disappears come 2027 elections. Please stay with me, because if you miss this one, you may probably be arguing blindly on WhatsApp. And wait till you hear what some senators are now denying they voted for. On February 4th, 2026, the Nigerian Senate passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. But inside that bill, they rejected mandatory real-time electronic transmission of results from polling units. That is dangerous if you want to sustain democracy. Optional in Nigeria, you already know what optional means here to INEC. Technical glitch. In sane countries where politicians respect rule of law, results move from polling unit to server to public view. But here in Nigeria, results like to take a walk. Collation centers are where elections historically get edited. That is why Nigerians fought for IReV. That is why civil society pushed for electronic transmission. That is why so many people are clamoring for electronic reforms, so that once votes are cast, nobody touches it again. Remove that safeguard, and we are back to human beings deciding results. This is why the reaction was instant. Atiku Abubakar called it an assault on electoral integrity. PDP said it is shameful and regressive. Civil society groups say it opens doors for manipulation. Some senators themselves now say this is not what we approved. So the question becomes, if senators are denying what was passed, who exactly should Nigerians trust at this point in time? Now, to be fair, the Senate says electronic transmission was not banned. Agreed. They say INEC still has powers to use it when they choose. Agreed as well. But here is the real issue. Power without obligation is weakness. If it is not compulsory, it can be ignored under pressure, especially in tight elections. 2027 is not a normal everyday election. Economic pain is high. Trust in government is low. Morale is very, very low. Youth participation is fragile. One disputed result like this, and the country shakes. That is why people are angry, shouting, politicians have rigged the elections before we even start. Not because of fear of losing, but because trust is bleeding out. Let me say this clearly. You don't strengthen democracy by removing transparency. You don't reduce rigging by creating dark corners. And you don't calm Nigerians by doing controversial things quietly. If this bill stands as it is, voter apathy will rise. And when people stop believing in ballots, they believe in something else. This is not over yet. The House of Reps version differs. Harmonization is coming. Public pressure still matters. The struggle continues. Bills have been reversed before, but this can happen only when Nigerians speak loudly and early. Especially if the opposition is not docile about it, because this one concerns them mostly if they want to wrestle power from the tyrants. So I will ask you directly, do you trust elections without mandatory real-time upload? Is this performance or operation? Comment your answer, yes or no. Share this to your WhatsApp groups. Let people argue with facts, not emotions. Subscribe if you want breakdowns politicians don't explain. See you in my next video. Signing out.